Anybody out there? Glenn? Glenn! Glenn! Hey, what's good, comic fans? This is Campfire Comics, and we're here to talk about The Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 5.
6.
And what?
6.
I just asked you, man. Look, I just asked this fool.
7, man. Wake up.
If it was 6, this nigga said 5. Okay, so Episode 6. Whatever. I don't even care. All I care about was it good or not. I'm Campfire Rich.
I'm Campfire Nate. And it is Episode 6. And I just told him, man's head's in the clouds thinking about Call of Duty. Can't pay attention to it.
I know. It's on the screen behind me, too.
Okay, so what'd you think about this?
I thought it opened up strong. Like most of the episodes this season, the episodes open up strong. Like right off the bat, they drive into an ambush. Darrell gets separated from the group, and you have that whole story now. If there's anybody who can take care of himself, right? Darrell. So we don't worry about Darrell when he gets separated. It's like, oh, he's gonna work it out. So he gets kidnapped actually, taken hostage by 2 chicks and a little skinny dude who's never killed anybody.
Yeah, the first thing that kind of threw me for a loop, I don't know if I'm the only one asking this question, but how in the world do they keep those walkers walking exactly on the road? I mean, why are they not kind of walking in the dirt a little bit? It just bothered me. I'm looking at them walking, man. They walking in file like they had a marching band. I mean, they are
some precision walkers right there.
And the other thing was just, I kind of thought about it too, is like, they got away from him, and then bam, all of a sudden those guys attack him. I'm like, man, where are those walkers at? I mean, I'm just waiting for them to like catch up.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for those walkers just to come out of nowhere. I'm like, man, they didn't leave them that far behind. Maybe they did. Maybe what we saw, there was a time lapse there that we didn't realize.
Well, maybe like they turned, right at the beginning when they turned left.
Yeah.
I don't know where they was actually trying to take them, but the whole time I was waiting for that to come back into play. I was waiting for them to be like, there's a horde of zombies coming right for all of y'all. Y'all all about to get jacked up. But apparently not. Apparently they just kept going straight and went somewhere else in zombie land or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, dude, these guys came out of nowhere. I mean, they were taking them out. They had vehicles. They had weapons. And I'm not going to lie to you, man. It looked hairy there for a second. I mean, Darrell's in bad shape. He's on a motorcycle. That's the last thing you want to be having someone shooting at you, He's zigging and zagging, man. Zombies. He's basically doing the zombie 3K. He's dipping and diving and trying to get through all that stuff. But man, that like you said again, that was intense. And then it kind of slowed down a little bit. This, like you said, this guy and this couple sickly people take Darrell, and they're just. They assume he's a part of a group. Whoever these people are they're running from, I'm assuming they're the same people as the guys that were shooting at them. The shoot first, ask questions later group. And basically, that's a question right there. Who are these guys?
Yeah, they are. And that's one way it's kind of keeping me intrigued. Like this show always finds ways to keep me intrigued, right? Like, we're in right now. What did I say a while ago? What season are we in?
Season 6.
Man, I think I opened up saying season 4. I don't know what's going on, people. Just excuse me for the time being, okay? We're not in season 4. We're in season 6.
Season 6, episode 6.
Anyway, we're in season 6, and the show continues to find ways to keep me intrigued. And when it was talking with Darrell and these new people, I was interested. Man, who are these people? Who are they running from? What happened to this place that just burnt to holy crap? Everybody's all crispy.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Dude goes on to kind of explain that.
That was the first thing I was thinking, too, because, Darrell's walking around. I'm like, man, what happened here? I mean, it's scorched earth, man. This whole place is worn out. And then there's like a midget in a motorcycle helmet laying on the ground. Over there, I was like, what's the deal with that thing? Even though it wasn't a midget, it was just a toasted body. But it did creep me out because the first few seconds I seen that, I was like, dude, it looks like an alien. I was like, I don't know what in the world Walking Dead is doing because that thing is creeping me out. But yeah, I mean, they toasted it. I mean, they kind of explained it. They basically, sent a car, had a gas truck through there or whatever, inject everything up. Man. And I mean, Yeah, that's a good way to get rid of them. Set them on
Yeah,
fire,
that'll work.
burn them up.
Then go chop them up. We moved back to Abraham and Sasha, right? And thought that was going to be more interesting. I thought it was going to be like, oh, Darrell's got a cool story, and now Abraham and Sasha got a cool story, and their story was more of a time filler. I feel like for this because nothing really happened. She was giving Abraham this pep talk, come back to reality type talk, and you had this random scene with a zombie in an RPG. Like I still don't understand that whole little sequence of events right there when he was out there yelling at him. And what was he doing? Like trying to play patty cake, hug him? I guess he was trying to get the RPG.
I don't know what it was. It was kind of like the whole thing is that he's kind of gone into his crazy I want to die mode, which is what Sasha was in for a while, So she's trying her best to kind of be like, hey, I'm trying to bring you back to this reality. You're kind of slipping.
Yeah.
And then it was at that moment, he was like sitting there and he was like, like you said, looking like he was trying to make out with that walker. I mean, like you said, I don't know if he was playing patty cake or what, but then he just kind of screamed at him. He got it out of his system. I mean, they should tell people that, hey, listen, man, when you start going off the edge, just get in a walker's face and yell at it. And it'll make it better.
Yeah, that works every time.
Learning how to, deal with the apocalypse. But, he found him some nice cigars. He got him a rocket launcher. I mean, come on, a rocket launcher. What could you do with a rocket launcher? There's all kinds of things you could do with a rocket launcher. I'm sure that out of everything that happened, that rocket launcher has probably more to do with what we're going to see coming up later than that whole...
we're going to see that rocket launcher, 100%. There was a funny line Abraham gave. Abraham, he's good for just giving these lines. Like, he cracks me up.
He's a one-liner kid.
And he was like... She was asking him, like, why you feel like you needed to kill this and that? And he was like, because loose ends make my butt itch.
Oh, yeah, that was great. Of all the notes I took, that was the first note that I laid down and I loved every minute of it. That's my new thing right there, which is probably the problem with a lot of us fans because our butts are itching right now because we want to know what's happening with Glenn. And I still don't know if we know what's going on. But
I know. We know what's going on. Well, before we get to that, Dixon was written on the door, and they kind of paused on it. Does that mean anything to you since you've read the comics?
It's Darrell's last name. That's Darrell Dixon. They probably just left that there for him to see it and know where they were. That's all that was.
They wrote it on there?
Yeah, they wrote that. That's what Sasha was doing.
Oh, I must have missed that. Yeah. See, my recording that I watched kept freezing up for some reason, so every once in a while it would freeze up. So that might have been... Well, I missed. Okay.
Yeah,
because I had it wrote and I was like, why was Dixon that? I didn't know what was up with that. So
they just wanted to let him know where they were, and again, that was it was just hanging out and waiting. Abraham got the screaming out of his system, got him some nice cigars, and got him a nice little outfit for Halloween, so he can wear that out when they go trick-or-treating.
We got that. They got that wrapped up, and then we go back to Darrell. Darrell gets away from these guys, has a change of heart, goes back, and then the new group comes in looking for him, right? So then they separate. He trusts them. He gives the dude's gun back. Basically, he saves their lives is what he does. He gets them out of there. I thought it was awesome. He totally baited that dude, had him walk around the corner and get his arm all jacked up.
That guy was like, man, he belongs in Alexandria, walking around a corner and letting a stuck walker that's stuck,
just got bit like for no reason. So
grab it. Come on, man.
That was a pretty cool scene.
That first episode when that dude was like walking and got bit by a walker stuck in the trees. You know what I'm saying? Dude, come on. How are you? If you're gonna get attacked by a walker, it's got to be moving. If you get attacked by a walker and it's standing still, man, go ahead. You're on that bottom list of people.
Yeah.
Go ahead and just sign off.
You shouldn't have made it this far. They had that chick, they let that chick die trying to put weeds on two bodies.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Come on, man. How did you not know they was going to come back?
That whole sequence bothered me because, first I'm looking there and I'm seeing what's going on. It took me a minute to figure out. I was like, what in the world is going on? Did someone put plastic over these bodies? Well, what it was is that the glass melted from the fire and it covered them and it, preserved them, But, of course, they preserved them, but they still look like zombies underneath, which was kind of weird, and they were still alive. And so the girl's putting things over there, and then she falls on them? Come on, man. They just spent this whole episode keeping this girl alive for her to fall on top of a couple glass dolls and let them bite her face off.
Putting some weeds down on there. But anyway, you just know they had to kill somebody.
Oh, I knew
the zombies had to kill somebody.
I was like, why are you doing that? Why are you going to put that in? As soon as the eyes lit up and woke up, the mint condition doll inside the little plastic outfit there woke up. And I was like, oh, it's done now. I mean, I knew it right then.
Well, they get past that. They're crying. Darrell asks him the 3 questions. Now he's going back into recruiter mode, letting them know. So he tells them about Alexandria. We got a place where people are normal. Hey, I got a bike. Let's go get my people. Let's get back to town. And they turn on him. I was very, I didn't see that coming because I was actually kind of liking these people even from the get-go, right? Like, I felt like they were people you could trust. And they turned on them. Are they going back or something?
Man,
do they think they're going to take this information back to where they come from and be welcomed back to the group they was initially running away from?
I mean, that's kind of the thing. I mean, from a comic book reference, you can always assume, especially now that they've announced the cast signing of Negan, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, which is freaking awesome. I mean, the dude was a great comedian in Watchmen. Dude's a great actor. He's going to do a great job at that part. You have to wonder if these guys are the saviors. I mean, that's Negan's group. I mean, if that's who that is, that's going to be interesting to see. So, I mean, that's the first thought that comes to mind. Whether or not that was their plan after they got that girl out and, well, we wasted all this time saving her. Well, maybe now we got to figure out how to get it back. I mean, maybe that's what they thought. They said, man, we're going to go tell them about this other group.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. So, I mean, these 2 groups are going to come together, right? They got to, and I think those are the people that's going to bridge them together. So they're going to meet some kind of way. But Darrell goes back, picks up the truck, lost his bike, lost his freaking crossbow. He got to get that back, right?
Come on, man, the crossbow. He lost the crossbow.
He getting it back. How are you going to see Darrell without it? That's kind of sad. It's like the crossbow is a character in its own, and now it's in somebody else's hands. That's not cool.
Yeah, I mean, maybe maybe he's got a backup back in Alexandria. Maybe he got a backup crossbow.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Picks up his people. They roll out. Oh, Abraham totally putting the moves on Sasha, right?
Just putting them all over.
Man, he was going in hard. I was like, dang, he ain't even caring. I guess yelling in that zombie's face done Rose's, got him amped up because he's like, yeah, you want me? I mean, a man can tell.
He's got a cigar in his mouth and he's holding a freaking rocket launcher. He's like, man, I'm ready to put it down.
He ready to go. But they're driving. Now, here's the most important part of this whole entire episode. It's the part that everybody wanted to see. And Nate, I'd be god dang if you didn't call it. I swear Nate texted me earlier today and said, I think at the very end of this episode, we're going to get a little tidbit, a hint towards Glenn, like maybe a radio message or something. Man, how you know a radio message? But they're going down. He picks the walkie up. And because you had already told me that, I was just like, oh, Glenn's about to pop over the radio. And we don't know that it's Glenn, but we know that it's Glenn.
The thing about it, man, my guess was pretty much it seems like the new thing they're doing this season is that they get the episode right to the last minute and they throw you something, man. They throw you something that goes into the next episode. Sometimes it doesn't even. I mean, they really
throw you a bone that you want.
Yeah, they're really, really, getting you excited right there at the end. That was a guess. I was thinking, I'm like, it's going to be something on the radio. Because, I mean, they're so far away. How else are they going to know, something? And I say Glenn. The guy sounded his voice. I listened to it. I played it a couple of times. It kind of sounded like him, but it kind of didn't. And I'm hoping.
Kind of sounded like who?
It just sounded like Glenn. And then for a second, and then again, it kind of sounded like that dude who stole his stuff. He stole that stuff, and I guess he took his radio too, so it could be them. The ones.
No, it wasn't them. It's 100% Glenn, man. We know it's Glenn, dude.
Oh, we know it is.
There ain't no way it's not Glenn.
What we need is the guy who commented on our video that we didn't know it was Rick. He had the caption on. Dude needs to play that thing over with the caption. Let us know if it says Glenn.
Hey, I played the caption. Like a man was looking at it. I picked the remote. I was like, rewind, hit the caption because I recorded
What'd
it.
Say?
And all it said was man over Walkie.
See, somebody talked too much, man. They had to pull that out. They were like, man, it said Rick before. We didn't want him to, because last time.
They did that on purpose, man. They got us like that. I was like, oh, I got him. I got something for him. They was like, no, they hiding that. I have to give them credit, man. They doing a really good job of dragging this Glenn thing out. It's perfect. It's exactly what you want to do. You don't want to, very next episode find out exactly what's happened. You want to leave the suspense going. And, man, that's what people are watching for, right? They trying to check it out. And then I watched the season, whatever do you want to call it? The ad, the trailer or whatever for the next one showed nothing.
No,
they gave you nothing. They showed a bunch of people's, legs and feet and hands, but no faces other than Rick.
Yeah,
and then Carol.
It's going back and showing back what's going on in Alexandria, which is I kind of thought they'd go on another whole, why not spend another hour and a half talking about Morgan or something like that that doesn't really have anything to do with the story. But I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. They're going back to Alexandria. I mean, now we pretty much are left with 2 groups and maybe a third, which we don't know where Glenn is. I was pretty much counting that we'd find out something about Glenn by next week. Now, I don't know. You might be right on that finale. I'm feeling 7. That was my feeling. And you know what? Maybe 7 will come back and we'll find out about Glenn next week. But if not...
Like the full, right. I'm telling you, man, because 8's going to be the last one, right?
Last one for this.
Before the break?
So, I mean...
Man, they're going to dangle that motherfucker right on us over break. And it's going to be like, boom, screenshot of Glenn. He's alive. And then it's like, end episode, by the way, have a good holidays.
His neck is like a necklace or something. He's going to be like, I wasn't dead. Ha, something.
Have a Merry Christmas. We'll see you next year. I'm going to be like, man, forget y'all, bro. We're trying to get this information now. But, guys, that's pretty much the episode we got, unless there's something else you wanted to add. Hey, don't forget about our giveaway, okay? Right here. Boom. Y'all know y'all want that. That's a Rick Grimes. Walking Dead Rick Grimes Funko bobblehead. I don't know why I'm shaking him. He's in plastic, so his head's not going to move.
He's shaking him and his Rick James impression in the process. That's pretty nice.
But if y'all want that, doing the giveaway, you got to be a subscriber, and you got to leave a comment on one of the videos sometime throughout this month, okay? At the end of the month, we'll announce a winner. We got a lot of other cool prizes that we're going to be giving out with it. So, man, get involved in that. Hook us up. Like the video. Comment. Again, subscribe. And, man, until next time, man, we out.
See ya.